at 5, a major defeat for President Obama.
Sooner or later, immigration reform will get done.
And undocumented immigrants facing uncertain futures.
Congress is not going to be able to ignore America forever. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Tonight, the Supreme Court split on his plan for immigration reform.
And the 4-4 decision essentially means that undocumented immigrants can still face deportation.
It also sends the case down to the lower court. CBS 4's Eliott Rodriguez is in the control room with the day's developments. Eliott.
Well, Rick and Lauren, the Supreme Court handed the Obama administration a major defeat on immigration today. The one-page ruling effectively kills the president's immigration plan for the rest of his term. It now puts immigration squarely in the middle of the presidential campaign. Supporters of immigration reform protested outside the Supreme Court as the justices blocked President Obama's immigration plan. The 4-4 ruling leaves a lower court ruling in place blocking a plan to spare up to 4 million undocumented immigrants from deportation and giving them work permits. The president called the decision heartbreaking.
Today's decision is frustrating to those who seek to grow our economy and bring a rationality to our immigration system, and to allow people to come out of the shadows and lift this perpetual cloud on them.
This is a win for the Constitution, it's a win for Congress, and it's a win in our fight to restore the separation of powers. Presidents don't write laws, Congress writes laws.
The tie vote by the court was possible because there are only 8 justices on the bench following the death of Antonin Scalia and the fact that Republicans refused to vote on the president's nominee to the court, Judge Merrick Garland.
If you keep on blocking judges from getting on the bench, then courts can't issue decisions.
The court also ruled in favor of affirmative action. The justices upheld the University of Texas admissions program, saying it complied with earlier rulings allowing colleges to take race into account in order to pursue diversity. The case was brought by Abigail Fisher, a white student from Texas who was denied admission to the school in 2008. She claims she was rejected while African-American students with lower test scores were admitted. The court ruled in favor of the school's policy by a vote of 4-3, with Justice Kagan recusing herself since she had worked on the case as a Justice Department lawyer. Now, the 2 presumptive presidential candidates reacted to the immigration ruling on Twitter. Hillary Clinton tweeted today that the ruling will tear apart millions of families. Donald Trump praised the ruling, calling it a job saver for Hispanic and African-American workers. In the control room, Eliott Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
And Eliott, Florida Senator Marco Rubio just appeared on CNN where he was asked if he agreed with the Supreme Court's decision on immigration.
Absolutely, I agree with the Supreme Court. If the president had unilaterally passed an executive order saying we're going to cut the tax rate for every American to 20%, well, I like reducing taxes, but I wouldn't support him doing it through an unconstitutional executive order. And that's what the Supreme Court ruled on. That said, I do believe we need action, not just on the immigration problem we have now, but the immigration problem that awaits us if we don't begin enforcing our laws. 4 in 10 Americans.
Rubio went on to say he's outlined a step-by-step approach to prove that illegal immigration is under control. Then he said you can address what to do with the illegal immigrants who are already here now. Today's ruling has a big impact on South Florida. Reaction from local immigration advocates is coming up all new at 6. And look for much more on the immigration reform fight tonight on the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. That's at 6:30 after CBS 4 News at 6.